open your previous file in our first part of the discussion. So in here, I'm going now to place an additional member. So insert node. Another thing that you can do is if you try to insert node, you can actually specify a proportion. So 0.5, add new point, then okay. So when I created now this setup, you can actually select the beams, but you will notice that there is actually no point of contact between this beam and this beam member, these two intermediate beams. Now, what is the reason? The reason is that there is no node at this location. Now, in order to be able to activate that node location or place an additional node at this intersection point, you go to Tool, select the beams, then you go to Geometry, intersect selected members, then I select intersect, specify the tolerance to be at 0. Do not place a value in here or else apparent intersections or members that are close to intersecting will be selected. Then okay, then it will create two new beams, and this time now the setup will look like this. So if I activate my add beam, you will now notice that there is a new node at this location. Then after that, you can also do some merging. So what is merging? So let's say, just like in this example, there is a beam that has a lot of nodes and you want to turn that beam into a single beam. Then that one is similar to this one. So I can actually highlight. Oops. Activate my nodes cursor, geometry cursor, so that I can select those entities. Then I can go now to geometry, then merge selected members, then merge. Notice that it disappeared. Those nodes at this beam has disappeared, and it turned now into a single entity. So if I select this one is now a single entity. Now, with regards to displaying the node number, you can do Shift N and Shift B to display the beam number. Those ones are corresponding if you go back under geometry in here. These ones are actually your beam number. And of course, you have your specifications as to the node connection. Take note that a beam is defined by two nodes only, node A and node B. So the nodes are located in this upper palette. All of those node coordinates are placed in there. And of course, your beams are defined by the two nodes that are its endpoints. So Shift N, Shift B. But of course, to avoid confusion, to disable it again, you have Shift N and Shift B to disable it. Shift N again, and it would be disabled. Next on your module is with regards to yan, yung display natin. Then arrangement. I think you no longer have a problem with this setup. Let's now try to make a renumbering of our beams and nodes. When you're creating actually your Staad, you will be jumping from this third floor, you go to ground floor, and you go to second floor. Now, what happens now is that every time you actually place a node, this one will tend to jumble up the node numbering. So let's observe the changes. So let's say you will notice in here 54, 55, you have 25 in here. There is no logical sequence in the placement of the nodes. So 56, 37, then you have 57 in here, 38, etc. So by doing a renumbering, you can actually achieve what they call that. You can actually achieve the proper arrangement, so that it would be easier for you to track the number and of course the location of those nodes. So in your module, there's a discussion in there justifying the use of renumbering. So in here, that one is again under geometry. You go to Renumber, members. So try to observe the arrangement. And of course, in here, it has this specification or options. I usually use Y coordinate ascending, then accept it. Y coordinate ascending is that it differentiates the node numbering with respect to per floor level. What do I mean by that? Third floor are clustered, second floor nodes are clustered, and of course, ground floor nodes are also clustered. What is important is the clustering of those nodes. So if I go to a certain view, let's try to do that one. Geometry, let's try to select all. Geometry cursor or nodes cursor. Then I go to geometry, renumber, nodes, yes. Then Y coordinate, include it in my arrangement, ascending, then accept. Start numbering from 1. Okay. So what you will notice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There is a logical arrangement now in your node numbering. Now, there is also this additional technique that you may use, if you like, in order to, what do you call that? In order to have a better arrangement with regards to the node numbering. So let's try to renumber this one, this set of nodes. So renumber. I will select this level only. Geometry, renumber nodes, yes. Then let's say we start our numbering from 100. Okay, 100, what does it mean? It means that this one is ground floor or first floor. Then of course, Y coordinate ascending. Then accept. So 101, oh, di ba? 102, 103, 104, 105, etc. Then for the second floor, I select again those nodes, geometry, renumber nodes. I start again with 200. Y coordinate. Oops. Accept. So 200. What's the advantage of this? When you see a node and it is 2, that means it is at second floor. So same is true in here. This one, ano yung gagamitin natin? Let's try to nodes. I will place 300. So Y coordinate ascending. So I start from 300. Then accept. You have now your beams renumbered at third floor. So you can actually do that one. You can make renumbering also for your members. So you try to do that on your own so that you will observe the corresponding changes. So every time now I go to my node numbers, the generic 1 to 12, I know that these ones are nodes that are located at my foundation or footing level. Then nodes 100 onwards, I know that these are nodes that are located at first floor. Then second floor nodes, etc. Same is true with beams. If you renumber your beams, 200 plus, that one is second floor. 300 plus, that is third floor. So you would not be lost as to which floor those beams are located. This one will come very in handy in the future if, let's say, you are trying to identify where is the location of this beam. So it will pop out in your drawing that beams 301 and 303 have failure. And of course, you will now be able to identify that third floor is a critical floor. So there's a problem at that floor level. You can now make the necessary corrections. Same is true with your columns. You can also make those necessary arrangements so that you will immediately know. Let's say it popped out later on that column 205 has failed. It means that second floor column has a lot of problems. So if many failed members are located at that, you can easily observe or make those necessary adjustment as needed.